Good morning, everybody. It's the Saints man, the small van driver on the CX, courier driver on the CX. It's Saturday. I didn't do one Wednesday, didn't do a video halfway through the week. I was just too busy. I didn't get back till late and I was too knackered. So strap yourselves in because this is the whole week, Monday to Friday. I've got the bins because I'm going to have to remember what I did last week. Another busy week. I'm doing it Saturday morning because it's the Saints v Leicester. Come on, you Saints. Big derby game this afternoon. So I'm in a good mood, and if they lose today, I don't want to do it tomorrow because I'll probably swear a lot and be a miserable git. In fact, more miserable than I am. So, we go to Monday the 25th of October. Started off, I didn't start off that early. Mondays is, you don't get jobs early on Monday. You try and get one booked in if you can Friday. The reason being, firms don't start work. They have the weekend off. They go into work, say, I don't know, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. They don't normally send a hot shot or a same day delivery straight away. So, but I did get one. I got one Wellingborough to Harlow, and it was cameras. It was for film production. Got that about, I think it's about 10 o'clock, quarter to 10. I started looking at 8 o'clock. I always get up about 7. So it was quite a while. Frustrating. I don't like waiting normally, but it happens. It's part of the job. So we took some cameras. We got £64 for that, so it's not a bad start. Got me down to Harlow. Harlow's a good area normally around there. And then I picked up. I didn't want to go into London. I didn't want to go to London. Good way of saying it. Monday. Yeah. What happened the rest of the week? I'll let you know in a minute. Yeah, I didn't want to go to London. And a job popped up Stansted to Peterborough. And I knew it was a hospital job because the pickup in Stansted I've done a couple of times. It's a little industrial estate off there. And I don't mind Peterborough Hospital. I've done the main hospital a couple of times. But it weren't the main hospital. So it was a nice easy job. £56 I quoted on that. And I got it, and it was a medical case. I say I've been to this firm a few times, middle of nowhere they are. But really nice, easy pickup, bang, it's instant. And it was a private hospital in Peterborough, not the main hospital. Yeah, a bit tricky, because I took it to main reception, because it said main reception, and it was for the theatres anyway, and they said no, it goes to the post room there was no one there, because a private hospital, it's not massive. In the end I took it to the theatres, just outside, so all good. And then, it was a bit of a struggle. Peterborough is not far from where I live, it's only 30 odd miles, but I'd only done 2 jobs, which was £120, so not a lot of money. And then, so I sat in Peterborough, and a little job popped up, Peterborough to Peterborough, 4 miles. And I know the postcode, I knew it was going to be Hermes. I quoted £29. It was only 4 miles. I was parked in Tesco's in Peterborough. I was 4 miles from it, so it's 8 miles all in. But it's Hermes, and I put £29. I would go to 25 normally, but I thought there aren't many people who are going to want to do this. It's nothing job, really. Yeah, picked up, literally, it was a huge bag. Like you put a ton of gravel in, them big gravel sacks, and it was full of little packets like that. And instead of just tipping them all in the back of the van, he didn't want the bag, so I took the bag with me. And as a result, in Hermes at Peterborough, they just took the bag off as well and says, leave them in the bag, mate. We could sort this easier to sort them. And then they were too small to go on the conveyor. I think the conveyor would have. So, in and out in about 5 minutes, which sometimes Hermes can be like, whoa. So that was all good. So Monday, I did 227 miles. Really easy day for me. Normally average about 340, 350. Only £149, so I was £51 short of my target, but it was a nice easy day. Broke it in nicely. Only did 5 hours driving all in, and 8 hour day, and that was with a fair bit of waiting as well. So, yeah, easy day. Average 65. On the way home, from Peterborough, I should have had this. I dropped in to my normal shipper who gives me work. It's through the CX, but not on the CX. I don't bid for it. He sends it straight to me. He phones me up and sends it straight over for the next day. So I did pop in to Northampton, only 3 miles down the road from where I live. Picked up the parcels for the morning, and Tuesday got a really good day to start with. I left the house at 5:45, and first drop was Cardiff, and then the second drop was Exeter. So I got good money for that. Got 190 for that. It's just calculated on the mileage, and I'm happy with that. It's easy work, and it gets me off to a good start. because I'm flexible with the times. I can be there at 11 o'clock in Cardiff. I can be there at 1 o'clock. I can be there at 8 o'clock. So I try and get there 8 o'clock, or I got there it's about 8:45, and I was done in Exeter by midday, at 1 o'clock, and I've got a good bit of money in the bank, and I'm looking for jobs, and it was a struggle. Exeter has normally been good to me. I normally get somewhere up to Bristol or even further back, and it's all a bonus because I've done my money virtually anyway. I did pick up a little job, Exeter to Exeter, and it was for tiles, a big pack of tiles going to residential. I've worked for this company before, and they always say it's about 5 miles and it's normally 10, but I quoted 28. It was an easy job. I was only half a mile from it. Quoted 28 and got it. Delivered it, and it was 9 miles, 20 packs of tiles, bit of amble. My back's improved, so it's good. And then I looked for jobs, but nothing happening. It was getting on a bit. So I looked for the next day, and a job popped up, Bridgewater to Abingdon, which is Oxfordshire, for the Wednesday. So I thought, well, I'll stay out. I ain't going home. I'm miles from home. I'm going to stay out anyway. So I quoted on that, Bridgewater, and it was pick up 7 o'clock in the morning in Bridgewater. So that suited me. So I quoted on it and got it. I got 92 for that, Bridgewater to Abingdon. And at 7 o'clock in the morning pickup, you're going to be done by 9, and you're getting ahead of yourself. So Tuesday was a good day. Go back to Tuesday. Obviously, went to Cardiff, Exeter, did a little job at Exeter, got £218.50p. The 50p is how it's generated with the first job. Did 345 miles. Yeah, it was a good day. £218, so I'm £18.50 over target. Wednesday started, Bridgewater. I parked in Bridgewater, I drove up. That's where my extra mileage come from Tuesday. I drove up to Bridgewater Tuesday to be at Bridgewater. Actually went to the place. It was a big office building just to check where I've got to go at 7 o'clock in the morning because it is dark. So no crock-ups. Oh, excuse me. And slept in Bridgewater in a lay-by, parked for night. Brilliant night's sleep as well. We're the best night's sleep right in the back of the van. Yeah, so slept in Bridgewater in a lay-by about 3 miles away, and it was off the main road. It was quiet. I'd got a bag of chips, sausage and chips, all good. So Wednesday, Bridgewater to Abingdon. It was COVID straight away. Got there at 10 to 7. I went in, big building, some induction sort of building. They're doing sort of meetings, and it was a member of staff, just one COVID test kit to Abingdon. I've been to Abingdon a few times, to the labs, dropped that off, had a nice steady run up, grabbed a coffee on the way up, and then I'm looking for jobs. I got a job in Abingdon. Well, I quoted on a job, and he got the time wrong. He wanted it done within the next half hour, and I couldn't do it. It was from Newbury. So he said, I really need the extra. I said, I can't do it. And I'm honest with people. It would have took me probably 35, 40 minutes. I hadn't actually tipped in Abingdon. I was about 5 minutes away. So I was honest. I says, look, I'm not going to get there in half an hour. It could be 40 minutes. He went, can I give you a ring back if it's okay? He said, I think the customer might be he wants it earlier than that. I said, yeah, no worries. So I did pick a job up, and believe it or not, it was that job didn't happen. And I did pick a job up within 10 minutes of dropping off in Abingdon, Newbury to Reading. I've done this work before. It was to go to hospital, Royal Berkshire Hospital in Reading. They're striker cases. Yep, picked that up. Quoted 38 because it was only 20 odd miles, and I've got about 15 miles to get to it. So about £1 a mile, nice and easy. Then I picked up a job in Reading quite quickly. In fact, very quickly, within about a minute or two of dropping, I was quoting on a job. I didn't want to end up in London, but I did end up in London. I quoted Reading to London. It was a railway job. It was taking stuff from one rail depot to another, and I quoted 75 quid, Reading to London, and I thought, well, I'll do it at this rate. If I get it for this, I'll do it. So I quoted 75 quid and got it, and it wasn't the centre of London. It was sort of southwestish, so it was okay. Weren't too bad. But then I'm in London. No, it's southeast. Sorry, it was just around the southeast, sort of bottom of London. But I'm in southeast London then. Yeah, I don't want to work in London really. But so I delivered that. I thought I could do with a job, getting me home really. I didn't want 2 nights out on the trot. I'd had a shower at the services in Had a shower at the services the night before in Bridgewater services. So I'd showered, I was okay, but I want to get home. I'm in London, I'm only 70 miles from home. But I picked another job up. Believe it or not far from where I was. I was in, like, that way. And it was T-shirts to go to Alexander Palace, which is North London. And that suited me because I could go on the ring road. And, yep, I quoted 45 quid on that, and it was only 15 miles, 20 miles. But it takes you a while. I quoted 45, got it. I went to Alexander Palace. I don't know whether, if you've ever been to Alexander Palace, wow, what a view. What a view. Drove in, it was T-shirts. There was a group playing there, an Irish group. I can't think of their name. But they were playing there that night, and these T-shirts was there with all their logos on. It was like a punk thing. I can't remember what the name was. Had MC on the end of it. Some MC or DC. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, drove up to Alexander Palace. Never been there before in my life. You have to go through residential streets. It's funny, I went through residential streets. That's where sat-nav took me. And then you're in and up the hill, and you look to your left when you're driving up the hill. The palace is up the top. And you look to your left, and the view is over the whole of London. Wow. It's a place I shall be returning. I should take my good lady there. We'll go there because she loves looking around palaces and things like that. And I drove around, and I got a contact number. I had to go through 2 lots of security. Normal people were going round to the car park, parking up. I was going round, right round the back and up the hill, through 2 lots of security to get in, through another gate, and I drove actually in the main arena, which was massive. And outside the main arena is the back bit, bars, eateries, T-shirt shop. So we delivered that 45 quid, and it was an easy job, and it was really interesting. To go somewhere is not boring, you know, but I couldn't really stop. There was so much security. I was going to try and pull over and take a photo of the view, but by then it didn't. Anyway, so that was that day. And my shipper who I'd worked for the day before phoned me up. He says, Dave, I've got one for tomorrow. It's just one to Bristol. Do you want it? I said, yeah, I do. I'm coming home anyway. So I drove home from Alexander Palace back to Northampton. Picked 7 boxes up. 7 boxes up to go to Bristol next morning. So that day was a really good day. I did 350 miles for £250. There's a clue there. If you work in London, your pence per mile is way higher. And you can afford to drive the bit home, the 50, 60 mile home, because you've already got your pounds per mile. I did 2 jobs around London. I did a job into London at £1.20 a mile, and around London I booked it at, it was like £3 a mile nearly, but it's time in London. But yeah, 350 miles on Wednesday for 250 quid. Yep, I worked 11 hours that day, so I did a good day, but it was good money, so you're not going to make that. That was my best day. So Thursday, I've got a load to Bristol. Again, it's a flexi booking. I can go in, and I wanted to be in Bristol at 9. I left my house at 6. I was in Bristol about 10 to 9. I was tipped straight away. I've been there a few times. They're lovely lads there. We had a little chat about the rugby, because they're Bristol supporters, Bristol Bears. I'm Saints, so we had a little conflab. Job's good. Done. So I went and got some breakfast then. I was a bit hungry, I had nothing to eat. Went to Morrison's, where I tip in Bristol, Cribbs Causeway. Morrison's is in the Cribbs Causeway. Get a really good breakfast, and a nice breakfast. Sat there, contemplated what I was going to do. A job popped up, Avonmouth to Bromley, which is south east London, right round. I've got 87 going down for the Bristol, which is what it generates my pay, and from Avonmouth to Bromley I quoted 115, which takes me over my target of 200 by 2 quid, and I got the job. And again, I've been to Alexander Palace, and this day it was from Avonmouth, picking up equipment for a theatre, big lighting equipment. One was huge in a box, sealed box, and another sealed box was an arm or something. The box with the light in weighed about 70 kilos, and the other box was 25 kilos. So good load. It was go to the Churchill Theatre in Bromley. So off we went, and it's all easy. M4, get on the Bracknell down to the M3, around the M25, stay out of London, into Bromley. Nice easy job. Just set the cruise up, and got to the theatre. Whereas the Alexander Palace was wow, Bromley Theatre very underwhelming. Just a big slab of concrete next to a library. It's all part of modern, soulless. But I couldn't get to it. Sat nav took me, and I was at the end of a dead end, and it was across a pathway. I thought, well, I've got to get it. It said stage door. I thought, well, so I had to leave the van, double yellows, run across this into the theatre. Yep, she gave me a map. She knew exactly. She said, oh, they all do this. She said, there's a map, and you have to go all the way around. It was about 4 miles, all the way around the outside to get around the other side. Which I did. Got to the stage door, and they were waiting for it. They're desperately waiting for it. They blew a light the night before. They blew a light up, one of the big lights. So for that show to go ahead at night, they were desperate for it to get it in there. So they were happy. So I did that. So 202. And then I thought, well, I waited. I thought, I'm in Bromley, South London. I went to North London. I thought, I'd like to get the other side of the river. So I went through Blackwall Tunnel. Took a while. Got to North London. Pulled over. I thought, we'll have a little stop here. But I'm going to give it 20 minutes. If there's nothing, I'm going to drive home. And there was stuff, but it was going wrong way. And I didn't want to be going down to bloody Plymouth again. Not on a Thursday night. I'd already done a lot of miles. So we went. That day, 397, it was rubbish. Pence per miles was rubbish, but I'd got £202 for 390 miles. So it was a lot of extra miles. But I'd done well the week. I'd done well the day before. I was 71 pence the day before, so I could take that hit. I'd got the money. I'm not so concerned pence per mile because my van does 55 to the gallon. So it's only, driving the 50 odd, well, it was 78 miles, 80 miles from where I was. I trundled home. It's a gallon and a half of petrol. Say 2 gallon running across it. So it's, 14, 13 quid. So yeah, I'll take that. So Thursday on the way home, I got a call from another shipper. I was on the motorway. I was just come past Milton Keynes. And I was going to pull over at the services anyway, because what I do, I put my laptop on at the services, put in my location, Northampton, see if I can pick someone up the next day. And I was about, Newport Pagnell Services, how far was I away? I was in the 60 mile an hour, just past junction 14, and the phone went. And it was a shipper who says, wonder if you're interested in a job tomorrow morning. I says, okay. What's it? He says, it's from Northampton, NN3, which is where I am. He says, going to Bournemouth. I says, right, okay. He told me the mileage. I got a calculator by the side of me, so I quickly calculated. It was 101 miles. So I thought, well, I'll quote him 90. I said, I can do it for 98, cheapest, if that's okay. And he went, yeah, that seems okay. Obviously, he's got whatever he's got in it, I don't know, but yeah, 98 I quoted. It was 101 on my top mileage. So, and it was picking up one box. But it was a 9 o'clock pickup in the morning on a Friday. So I'm going to be travelling 2.5 hours to Bournemouth on a Friday, and I've got to get from Bournemouth back home. I do not stay out Friday night. So it's a bit of a risk, but Friday work is normally plentiful. What I didn't contemplate, it's half term, kids are on holiday. Friday, the traffic was, and it chucked it down the rain. Traffic's horrendous. So Friday, we picked up 9 o'clock. Yep, sure it was ready. There was another courier. He was going to North Wales and then South Wales. So I'd got one box, go to Bournemouth, residential address. Nice and easy. So gentle drive down. It says I'm going to be 2.5 hours. As I got nearer, on the Google, it kept extending it. There was congestion because of floods in the motorway, the M3 going into Southampton. It's a big hill, and at the bottom it had flooded across 2 lanes, and lorries, everything was slowed down. So I got there 12 o'clock. It was 3 hours instead of 2.5, which is okay because I'm done just short of 100 quid. But now I need something from Bournemouth. But there was drivers. Another good tip: if you're a small van driver, check who's nearby. I checked straight away as soon as I put in the details of the previous job. I checked who was nearby. There was 5 van drivers in the Poole, Boscombe, Bournemouth area. My area expands to Southampton. There was 1 driver in Southampton, small van driver. I'm thinking I'm going to drive up to Ringwood, and I needed some fuel. I was getting not short on fuel, shortish. I was looking for a BP garage for decent fuel. Got BP cards cheapest at the moment, and I knew Roundham services on the M27. Is it 271? I don't know. On the M27, I think it is. Roundham Services just by Southampton is a BP. So I thought I ain't staying in Bournemouth because there weren't a job on the way down. I got it on. There was no jobs out of Bournemouth. There was one out of Poole going to Rochester or something, and that was about it. So I thought, well, all these van drivers waiting, they're going to quote cheap on a Friday. They're all trying to get back. So I went to Southampton, went to Roundham Services, got me fuel, parked up, and there was a job on there, 2 jobs, both out of Andover. One was a 4 o'clock pickup, which is the COVIDs I've done a few times from the Regis to Slough. That could have been a full back, but I got a lot of waiting time because it was only 1 o'clock. And there was another one on there, pick up before 2:15 from Andover to London, Northwest 5, which is Chelsea, around Chelsea. It was, well, I picked the job up, I did get the job. Well, I'd done 98 going down to Bournemouth, so I'd worked out my target for the week, and I needed to do £84 to hit my target. So I thought, I'll put a quote of £85 on. I'd got to go 22 miles to get to it, and it was to London. I probably could have got more, I don't know. But I just thought, if I quote that, I've still got a good mileage, pence per mile, and that'll get me over my target. I did get it. I said to the bloke where I was in the Roundham Services, I'm going to be about half an hour. I said, but there is a bit of traffic, it might be. He says, as long as you're there before 2 o'clock, he says, the guys finish work at 2. He says, they will wait till 10 past, 1:15, but they get a bit jittery. I was struggling. I thought, I'm going to just about do it at 2 o'clock. I've got it on both Google and I've got it on my sat-nav, and it said I was going to get there at 1 minute past 2, and I got there and it was 2 o'clock on the dot. The bloke was really happy that all his guys were just going home. He thought he'd got to wait, and he went, brilliant. And it was to a studio, an art studio. It was a sculpture, metal sculpture thing, all wrapped up, and a glass sculpture wrapped up. We put it on. He was quite happy it was safe. I strapped it gently with my bungees so they couldn't move, and that was it. Last job of the week. I thought, just drive to London, get it done. It weren't in it's in the new ULEZ, but that don't affect me because I'm Euro 6, but it wasn't in the congestion zone. I come in via the M3 because the M25 was completely knackered. From 8 right up until it was knackered. And it was a 1 hour delay. But Google had took me in the M3, kept me on the M3, past Twickenham, and then I cut up down, got to Hammersmith, fly over that way, and then cut up Shepherd's Bush. I know London okay-ish, so I knew but the Google sending me all around back streets to avoid the traffic. It seemed to take forever, but it didn't. I got there at 4 o'clock. 2 hours. I mean, it's a long old journey, but yeah, I got there smack on 4. The mileage isn't that much. It was only 60 odd miles, 70. With my 20 mile getting there, it was £1 a mile I was doing it for. But I did 20 odd mile getting to pick it up. So, yeah, all good. And I'm in northwest London, and I'm going to go home because I've just hit my target, and I'm thinking I want to get home. And it said on my sat nav then I was going to be in problems. It was like traffic on the M1's Friday. People are leaving. Well, oh, great. So I did. I went way home. Again, I got stuck in. There was a motorway. There was 2 crashes on the motorway. It took me best part of 2 hours, but I didn't actually go home. I looked for jobs, but there weren't any. Friday, they were all going into London, or further away than where I want to be. If anything was going Leicester, Rugby, Coventry, Milton Keynes, Luton, anything going to there from North, Watford or Potter's Bar around there, I'd have jumped on it, but nothing did, and I weren't stopping. But it's going slowly, and my shipper, who I've been doing the work for, who don't put it on, phoned me up. He said, don't know whether you're interested, Dave. I've got a small job Monday going to Thatcham. He said, it's nothing much. He said, it's just 6 boxes. He says, do you want it, or do you want me to put it on the CX? I said, no, I'll do it. He says, the only trouble is this is not to the stores we normally do, it's to another store. He says, and you can only go in at 11 o'clock in Thatcham. I said, you know what, that'll do me, because it's 2.25 hours from me. It's about 2 hours. I said, I'll have a nice, easy start Monday, and Thatcham's a good area. So, on the way back, I called in, picked up the 7 boxes and brought them home. I was still home by about 6:10. So, Friday wasn't a bad day. 335 miles. I've got a load for Monday, and I did £182. So, it weren't brilliant, but I've got a load for Monday already. So, sum it up. Not doing too bad, 25 minutes the whole week, Jesus. Sum it up, mileage, quite a lot, 1,654 this week, which, yeah, is okay. Just did over me £1,001 and 50p. So broke me 1,000, which is my target. I'd like to do a bit more. Monday was a poor day. Only did £149, and Friday I did 182. But because I'd done my target, I'd sort of lost my enthusiasm and doing any more jobs. I hit my target, what I want for the week, and I'll go home. I'm not working today. I'm not working tomorrow. Well, I don't think I'm working unless something pops up that's very good money. And we start Monday. The 7 boxes are in my house. In fact, they're over there. They're over that way. I always get them out of the van if I'm in there. They'll stay in there for one night, but not 3. Yeah, week's good. So it has been a bit tougher this week. I don't know. There hasn't been so much work about. I've been stuck around London a lot, and London I think is you do get the money, but it's just time. Yeah, it's tougher this week. I thought it was a bit tougher. I had a full week, and I hit my target. Don't get me wrong, and that's all you want to do, really. You know, you want to do as much as you can if you're going to be out. I was tramped out one night. And by the way, I've had a few comments asking me questions, which is great, and I will answer them. Quick thing though, I may not answer them straight away or that day. It depends what I'm doing, how busy I am, what I've got on. But brilliant, you subscribe. I've got 120 something now. If you do subscribe, great. If you've got any questions, I will try and help. There's another question. I'm going to do a short one on. Someone asked me about how I tramp in the back of a small van, what gear I've got, what gear I carry to be able to tramp in a small van. I think it's easier to show you. When I do it, I'll do a little video of it separately. And someone else asked me, is there good areas, is there bad areas? What's the good and what's the bad areas? And I'll perhaps do a small video on that. I won't do it in this because it's going on a bit rambling as normal shite. I think you've heard enough crap talking from me. Yeah, pretty much that's it. Just got to get the Saints winning today against Tigers and make me a very happy bunny. I've walked the dog this morning. It's still only 9:30. We got absolutely soaked because it was chucking down rain. And I'm off to visit my auntie, and I'm off to visit an uncle. My auntie's not too clever. My uncle's alright. I ain't seen him for a while, so I said I'll pop in and see him this morning. So it's a shower, shave. You know what the others. So, hope you're all making money. I say, any comments, put them on there. I will answer them eventually. It may take a couple of days. I will try and answer any questions. And I will do the 2 videos, short videos, next week. I'll schedule them sometime next week. Again, it's all unedited. I don't edit anything. What you see is what you get. Hope you're making money. Speak to you soon.